And then it goes on to say the leaves of the trees are for the healing of the nations. And so, of course, that's where my heart went. Lord, is that what you mean by Carmen has been friends with the leaves since she was a little girl? The leaves are for the healing of the nations. And he looked at me and said, "Oh, sweetheart, you don't even have the first clue about that. That's just barely even the tip of the iceberg." And I went, "Okay, let's talk about it." So, of course, I had to look it up. Now, we know that verse in Revelations 22 is from Ezekiel 47. And I want to read it to you. It's the first 12 verses. All of you, I know you already know this, but I'm going to read it out loud. Then the shining man brought me back to the entrance of the temple, and I saw water flowing from underneath the temple threshold. It was flowing eastward, for the temple faced east. Water was trickling out from the south side of the temple, south of the altar. Then he took me out by the north gate and led me around the outside to the gate that faces east. And there I saw water flowing out on the right-hand side, south of the gateway. The man holding his measuring line walked east and measured off 1,000 cubits. Then he made me wade across the shallow water, and it was ankle deep. He measured off another 1,000 cubits and told me to wade across the stream again. The water was up to my knees. He measured off another 1,000 cubits and made me wade across the stream again, and the water was up to my waist. He measured off another 1,000. It was now a river over my head, which I was unable to swim across. It was a deep, swollen river, a river no one could cross. The shining man said to me, "Son of man, do you see this?" Then he brought me back to the riverbank. When I got there, I was astonished to see an enormous number of trees on each side of the river. He said, "This water flows east down to the Jordan Valley and to the Dead Sea. As it flows into the stagnant waters, that water becomes fresh water. Wherever the river flows, all living creatures all live and thrive." Wherever the river flows, all living creatures will live and thrive. Schools of fish will be very plentiful, for wherever the river goes, it brings healing, and everything will come alive. Fishermen will crowd its banks and spread their nets from Engedi to another city. They will catch as many species of fish as there are in the Great Sea. However, its swamps and marshes will not become healed, but will be left for salt. Along both banks of the river, every kind of fruit tree will flourish, and their leaves will never wither, and abundant fruit will always be on their branches. Each month they will bear a fresh crop of fruit, because this life-giving water comes from inside the sanctuary. And their fruit will be good to eat, and the leaves will bring healing. Each month they will bear a fresh crop of fruit, because this life-giving water comes from inside the sanctuary. And their fruit will be good to eat, and the leaves will bring healing. And so as I was sitting with that and just allowing the reality and truth to be expressed from this being I am, I looked up the word leaf. Now, of course, it means tree leaf, right? It does, I promise. But do you know what the root of that word means? The root of that word is the word elay, and it means this, y'all. Are you listening? Leaf. The word leaf means to go up, to ascend, to climb, to meet, to visit, to grow, to shoot forth, to rise up, to excel, be brought up, to take oneself away, to be exalted, to train, to rouse, to stir up, to right oneself, to increase, to arise, to even break the day up. A leaf means to ascend, to go up. And when I read that, it stopped me straight in my tracks, because I'm thinking, leaves meaning the healing properties, healing nations, etc., etc. But we're talking about sitting from that place in Father's heart, in the place where his being is, in that secret place, in the place of quietness, seeing what he's doing and doing that. That is for the healing of the nations. And not because we say all of the preachy words, but because we are the word. Because I am the living word of my Father. When you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Why do we think that Jesus so many times used that statement? Because it wasn't about a preaching thing. Let me tell you all the ways that you've been missing it, or you're wrong, or this is truth, or any of that. It's being the word.